Good morning, guys. Okay, so today we're gonna make this wreath, and I'm gonna show you how I did this. And this is kind of a fun tip for any other projects you're doing. If you want a heavier paper instead of using a scroll saw on wood and cutting it out. What I took was freezer paper, just plain old freezer paper. And I already knew how big I needed it because my wreath's about this big, and I need an extra piece for the word. So I just take it and cut it in half, and then you're going to iron it. Just iron it with hot heat. Doesn't matter if you have steam or not. Just make sure your iron doesn't touch this shiny side or you will definitely know it. It'll just stick to your iron. So you're just going to iron this up and make it nice and strong. Okay, so after I've ironed my paper, you can see there's a few little bumps, but that's not gonna hurt anything. Since I'm gonna be doing this wreath and you wanna do it in fours, if you're not comfortable, just stamp, 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 stamp. A fun trick is to fold it in half one way, and you can do it in a triangle, or you can just do it as a square. And now I know where my stamp needs to lay, between this folded line and this folded line, so it makes it a little bit easier. So I'm just going to ink my brayer. And lay it between the folded lines. And now you're just gonna go all the way around with the same thing. Okay, so to make this easier when I'm putting my ink on, you don't have to cut this really well, but I'm just gonna kind of lightly cut around it, and I'll clean it up a little when I'm done. It just makes it easier when you're pouring your glitter off of the paper. Okay, so after you've kind of loosely cut around the whole wreath, if you wanna re-iron it, this is a good time to do it. Make sure your ink is dry, of course, but you're just gonna get these creases out even though you're cutting in here. This is a good time to iron it if that's what you want to do. After you get the glitter on, you're not going to be able to do that. So after you've done that, what you're going to do next is, I use glossy accents, but you can use any sort of a clear glue. This just seems to work the best for glitter. It's what I like to use. It's a clear dimensional medium. And since I'm going to do my leaves in green, I'm just kind of going just where it's white, and it doesn't have to be perfect, just little blotches here and there. And I'll do a few little areas. And if you wanted to, you could just get a little bowl of this and then use a paintbrush. But you know, I found it works just as well either way. So I'm just going to do a few of these. Let me just show you. And here, let's put some of the green on. So I try to do all of one color first, then I do the other color. And you want to put it over a sheet of paper. And even then, you're going to find glitter on your table for a week. And you can see some areas grab it a little better than others, so sometimes I'll go back over, or I'll just keep going on, get it all done, and decide if I want to add more. Okay, so I'm just doing some more leaves here. It seems very meticulous, but it really does go pretty quickly. And I find you just want to do a few at a time. Otherwise, you'll get your fingers in the glue also. Okay, so then when you're all done with one color, I'm sure everybody already knows this, but I thought I'd show you. I just take my paper, kind of make a little fold there. And I'm doing it backwards, so hopefully I don't spill it everywhere. And then just try to get at least most of it back into your jar. And there you go. Now let's start on the red. This one's really, really fast because all you're going to do is just put dots on your berries. And same thing, just start with a few. I'm going to use the back side of this paper. And same thing, do this all the way around on the berries. Okay, so when you have all of your colors on, you probably want to wait till it sets just a little bit. Otherwise, if you grab it and rub it, you're going to have squishy glitter all over you. So when it's kind of set and dry, you're going to want to cut the center out. And what I do for that is I just kind of make a hole. I know this is a mess in the center. Okay, and then you're going to cut your inside out. First thing I'm going to do is just kind of cut a nice big hole here to make it easier. And really you want to wait till the glitter is kind of set and dry. Don't be impatient like me. Okay, and here we are. And just start at one end or the other. And I find if I put my arm underneath, it's the easiest way to cut this out. And same thing. You're just going to kind of do a rough outline around it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so when you're done cutting out the inside, you're going to get an idea of the extra little piece I cut off when we first did the freezer paper, or you just get another piece. You want to see how much room you have in the center. And so I'm just going to do thankful. So what I'm going to do is just, bring this over here, just stamp my letters. And since I'm using cursive letters, I need to do them one at a time. If you were just doing block letters, you could just lay it on your big piece of acrylic and do it all at once. So when you're done stamping all your letters, all I did is kind of lightly cut around all of the letters like I did the wreath. And then you can see how big it is. And you have a little tab on the two ends, and I just taped those down in the center. And then I glued a little wooden ring to the top. And there you go. That was easy.